Well, hello everybody, and thanks for dropping in today. Today is our steps to success, where we want to talk a little bit about how you're using the card in your business and how you can maybe think differently or just use it differently to put more income in your pocket. This is not a discussion about how you can make more money referring the card, although that is an easy win, right? This is about what you do with the card yourself. So I wanted to start off today kind of talking a little bit about where I was last week. I don't know if anybody was able to jump into that meeting. We had some very weak internet compared to what we were told would be available. So we even tried to go without voice or without video, and that didn't work. So long story short, Tuesday last week, of course, those that were able to catch what we had, we were at a real estate convention here in Florida, and it gave us a chance to get out there and talk to a lot of our users and or new potential users face to face. And I wanted to give you some feedback based on that, because ultimately, I don't know who may be in here and who may not. But ultimately, I think this is key to anyone in your industry. And yes, I mean your industry, not real estate specific, not insurance specific, not in, wealth management, Steve. So it's more about making sure that, you see the simplicity in sharing the card, right? And that's one of the things that we really wanted to make sure that everybody last week was able to see, and then ultimately make sure that you're 100% aware of it. So my presentation, or the way that I approach people at the show when I brought it up, it was, one, do they have a card, right? Everybody on this call should have a card. So I would ask them, do they have a card? Most of them did, or not most of them, a lot of them did. But then they couldn't find it. They don't know where it was. And then when I pulled out my card, of course, everybody knows about pulling up your card and having it on your lock screen, right? So when I pulled that out, that was completely foreign to so many people. And then on top of it, my key to success was, even after that, how easy it is to share the card and making sure that they knew, and this is what I'm getting to, is everybody on this call today understands, the inherent benefit of having MiCard yourself is making it easy for your friends, your family, and your past clients, the people that already know and like you. You've probably heard us say this before, share your information, right? And one of the things that Ralph and I have really worked on the past month or so is getting that to a point that you build your card, you build your billboard, right? And that's what it is. It's your leave behind. It's your perfect opportunity at a second impression. It is just as much for your friends and family to make it easy for them to refer somebody to you without the question of who you are or what you do. You don't, as I have to explain a lot of times, you don't have to train your referral source, that some people have to do. And if you remember, to an extent, that's the whole reason you did pop buys, and you constantly stayed on people. You reminded them not only to stay top of mind, because that's where we are now, is trying to stay top of mind, but you were giving them content so that they could also repeat that for you. And that's how you trained your referral sources. If you go back into BNI groups and things like that, you learned what their pitch was so that you could make a warm introduction. My point being, the card, your MiCard, does that for your referral sources. And I highly recommend you take that consideration when you're using it. Today, anybody on this call and anybody that you've got in your network that is using the card, one, you need to get everybody in your network using it, even if it's a free card, right? There's no reason why you can't offer out a free card and just make it simple for them to break the ice and get started. But ultimately, sharing your card yourself to your network, maybe this is a reason to touch base with them one more time, explaining to them how easy you've made it for them to send you referrals. So no more, hey, don't worry about what you say or don't say. If you hear, somebody's looking for wealth management, or somebody needing to invest, or somebody's looking for an agent, that's it. Here's my guy, and you can just refer that. It's not, there's no more setup. There's no more follow-up for them. They're in, they're out. Hey, here's my guy. If you know somebody, yes, I do. Boom. And the question goes on, or the conversation goes on to the next thing. And to me, that softens up that referral so much that they don't have to feel like they're obligated to share and or follow up. If you can just talk to your referral sources and make sure they know you've made it that easy to share, I think that would help, right? So if we're looking for free ways to put money in your pocket today, that's the freest way we can give you. We already offer a free card that looks phenomenal, and I could go with our free card. You can get your friends and family and past clients easily started with that, just so that it makes it easy for them to refer. So pick up on that simple aspect of making it easy just to send your information. And then at the same time, hey, here's an easy way for you to send yours. You just get the same free card just by using the bottom of MiCard, right? So that's how you start to develop your network, your referral network, whether they're paid or not paid. The idea is making those referrals, developing those relationships, and then making it easy for them to send it back and forth is key, right? So that's what I wanted to really drive home from that conference. It was one of the things that we really know resonated. It doesn't cost anything. It was easy for them to do. And then in the real estate case, the thing we always say is your card is content for you. Whether you're talking about the fact that you got the card, or maybe you're talking about something you just updated and you want their opinion on it, it gives you content to discuss with clients to get feedback, and at the same time, if they feel heard and they put input into it, they're more likely to refer. So something to consider there, right? So if you haven't already, set up a lock screen for your card, make sure that you are going to the next steps video. Go onto that page, make sure that you do. This is for promoters. It is for the general public, so that there's no secrets there. We're letting everybody know the card is useful through and through. So if you haven't already seen that and set up your lock screen, that's a good place to go. Very simple. And if you need help beyond that, let us know. You can send me an email yourself if you'd like, because I kid you not, it made a huge difference in just making sure that you had your card immediately there on your lock screen. So if you're having trouble, send me an email. Let me know what phone you're having issues with, and I'll dig into maybe why you can't get it. If you're having issues designing the image to go on the front of the card, we discuss it in the video. But if you're still having issues, it's that important. I think it's a huge benefit of just being able to whip it out, talking about your card, and be able to move along, right? So it's not a huge discussion point unless you want it to be, right? And of course, with somebody first time, or they haven't seen you do this before, you're going to catch them off guard. So just make it seamless. But everybody can relate to needing referrals and wanting free referrals, right? So it's not something that's going to cost you up front, like if you were going to pay Facebook or any other ad. Referrals are free if you work it right, and or maybe they only cost you after. It depends on how you set it up. We didn't get involved at that. We just wanted to make sure that everybody understands the simplicity of setting up the card. Those in here today, if you've got questions, feel free to fire them off at me, and I'll be glad to try to answer them. Let's see. I want to make sure that people know in this call, we'll be announcing on Thursday again, because it's a mix of groups. This week, this Sunday, we will be announcing, or we will be debuting our new Sunday night MiCard mindset. Will be run by one of our very own Brian Street to get started, and that will be a weekly Sunday not rebroadcast, live broadcast every Sunday night. I believe his time is going to be 6:30. So if you are available Sunday, that will probably come out about 30 minutes to an hour after you get the email from us telling you the plans for the week. But this Sunday night at 6:30, MiCard Mindset with Brian will be live. We're going to finalize a couple of additional schedules that are going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks, but that one, of course, is going to get us kicked off with our first one, right? So it's going to debut Sunday at 6:30. That will be live. More so having the right mindset to grow your team, grow your income, and ultimately use the card and then use the business in the card. This would be what he's going to be discussing. We'll go through a little bit more, so we got a little bit more polished pitch for me. I know Brian probably has 10 different ways that he can describe what he's going to bring to the table, because he's definitely overflowing with ideas. So if you're looking to take that next step and wanting to ask those questions, we'll cover a little bit more on Thursday. And then, of course, it will be live with Brian on Sunday night. Andre, can you get a sample card for an industry you haven't seen? Sure. Let's do this, Andre. Andre, if you would like, you can. That's my screen going. Let's do this. Let's do stop the share. If you would like, next Tuesday, I'd be happy to either have some samples available if you specifically would like to see them. Actually, I could probably pull up one or two now, depending on what you're looking for. And or if we don't have one, I can ultimately show you how one might initially be started and or created. So again, like I said, we're trying to change this format a little bit more to be hands-on, immediate assistance, kind of that office hours if you have, something, but but also have a point, which today's point was making sure you realize how lucky you are to already have this in front of you, but ultimately making sure that you can go out in front of your existing, referral network, give you, discussion points and explain to them what this is, right? Here's my new card. Want to make sure you have it. And let's go ahead and set it up on your phone so you got it. So let me go ahead and text it to you. Oh, great. Open it up. Let me show you something. Boom. See that right there? You hit that button when you open it up. That's how easy it is to share it with anybody that asks you about plumbing, anybody that asks you about stocks, anybody that asks you about insurance, whatever your industry is. That's, you want to leave it very broad. This is how I believe it. Leave it very broad so that at the end of the day, once your card is handed off, hopefully your card has links and information about you, your business, where they find you, how they find you. Maybe you've got reviews there. It's not just a link to your website, although that is an option, right? I don't think that's going to make anybody get the warm and fuzzies about sending you somebody, right? Because this is about making it easy for your referral sources to send somebody to you. So if your card has some information on it that a first-time client, that a referral source might be looking for, so think of it that way. Design your card to make it easy for people to refer business to you. What are questions that someone might ask when they're coming to speak to you, right? Do you do, if you're in insurance, do you do residential? Do you only do commercial? Do you do health? Do you do what? And maybe you put that on your card, your section on health, common questions with health. Well, that's probably going to tell me that you cover it, right? So little things like that help your referral sources know that when they hand out your card, they don't have to follow back up with that client, with that person, that business associate, that family member, whoever they just sent with you, because they feel that, again, you're going to be able to take it from there. And that's what we want. We want you to be able to take it from there. They can't do that with something else. Can't do that with Linktree. I don't know what they're getting off of that, right? So if you design your card for that referral source in mind, I think you might come up with some ideas more specifically about what you want to do, what your clients may ask for. And this is the thing I love. Ask your clients, what would you like to, if this was our first meeting, and I wouldn't say you do this to everybody, but you could ask those that you've got the rapport with, hey, you know what, have you seen my card? Is there anything you wish my card had or that I could add that might have helped you to get started? Or was there a question that didn't help with? Or, hey, you know what, does this feel like it answers your first couple of questions? That's an opener, right? It doesn't have to be a sales call. It could be an information for you, giving you content, letting them have feedback, and then ultimately both of you win, right? You're designing the card for your referral source, and hopefully it comes out working for the referral source. So that's what I wanted to really make sure we drive home today, is building your card to tell everybody what you do, but also keeping in mind that your referral sources are also going to be using that same card. So you want to design it so that it makes their life easier, right? Let's see. All right. I am hiding some questions. Sorry about it. Let me see if I can find those. There we go. Let's see. Easiest way. Okay, Carla. Easiest way we were sharing during the event, during our event, ultimately, of course, was from our lock screen, right? That was the easiest. Somebody says, hey, do you have a business card? I sure do. It's right here. Do you have your phone? Yeah, okay. Just take a picture of that. Boom. And they know once they were grabbing their phone where they were going. So, and that's how we did it. Of course, there, the association, they had a scanner for businesses. And of course, we were just having people reciprocate their information back to us, right? So it's just boom, boom, and it was there. So everybody's just having a conversation, carried on like they normally do. Let's see. Um, how can I upgrade my card design if I start with free? Jose, so the easiest way if you're looking to have the card designed is within, actually, that's a great question. We do have our card creation services, Jose. It does have a $100 option and a $150 option where they will design the card based upon the information that you give them. So, there is that way if you'd like to do it. If it's just something you want done perfect, right the first time, then card creation services might be the way to go. And I'll get you that link. And or if you hang out here right at the end, if there's no other questions, I will pull that up. So let's kind of wrap this up and tidy it up, and then Jose, I'll go pull that before I actually sign off. You don't have to worry about sending me that, right? So action items for today. Number one, go set up your lock screen if you haven't already, right? Set up your lock screen. If you're having trouble setting up your lock screen, send a message to me. I really want to make sure that we get those set up for everybody that can. So if you're having issues, send an email to brady@micard.io and let's find out why we can't get it, or if you're having issues. If I have to help you research the process based on your phone type, I'll do it, because to me, that was a show changer, to see everybody else say, yeah, I've got one, but they couldn't find it on their phone. And we already recommend an alternative to that. It's just no brainer, right? Let's see. Next week, if you have questions or if you'd like, you can actually send me an email, respond back in the chat here before we go. If you have any specific industries that you'd like us to feature next, I don't want it to be so scripted. I want it to be kind of, led by you. And if it's something you're either maybe you're an existing promoter and you want to know how to design a card for one of your people, or you're having trouble coming up with it, or you just don't think it's perfect, or you're just kind of drawing blank. I've been there, right? So if that's the case and you're curious, I'd be happy to give you some ideas starting from the beginning. I don't want to get into a critique of, hey, here's what you should be doing, and telling people, this is what you do to this card or that card. I want to talk about just options that you have, because I think at the end of the day, if you're actually designing the card for your client and for your referral sources, I think that's going to take care of most of it. There may be some design elements. There may be some things with, if I were to look at your card, I might say, I changed the wording here, right? But I think you could do that with almost anybody you're working with. And in my opinion, that right there is the reason that you develop your own little network of referral sources, people that also have MiCard, and you design and develop what works for you and them. It's not just, MiCard telling you, it's really MiCard helping you facilitate a better referral group, right? So if your plumber and your electrician says, hey, this is how people start looking for me, and this is how I want to be referred to, take that, they're in that industry, stop overthinking it. And that's what we're trying to do, is make it easy for you guys to open up and start creating more referral sources for you. And we know that bleeds over into the partner and promoter section, but without a doubt, it puts money in everybody's pocket if you're doing it right. So whether you're a promoter or just a card holder, being able to develop referral sources, make it easy for people to send you referrals is just, that's a no-brainer, right? So I'll wrap it up on that. Thanks, everybody. Jose, hang in here, and I'll pull up that link and get you the file for the link for creation services. There we go. So I just added it in there. Card creation services, if you're interested, there's two options there. Let me see if, I'll be honest with you. If they've still got the discount, Jose, I will give that to you now. This is something they set up for promoters, and sometimes they give us different numbers. So sometimes they open up more. So Jose, if you're still paying attention there, I put in the special code into chat. That should give you, I believe, 50% off. So, definitely worth it if you give it a go. Enter that code from the chat and see what they can do, right? I know that they do a phenomenal job. So, but if that's the route you're going, I fully trust our team over there to get that done. So that being it, guys, I appreciate everybody hanging out a little bit longer. If you have any questions or any suggestions for where you would like for us to focus next Tuesday, any specific professions, or maybe just questions on a profession of ideas, then let us know. We'll be happy to give you some ideas and or show you some examples, right? Thanks, everybody. We're out of here. See you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.